Badlands. Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Oh, Jordan, you're muted.
I am muted. All right. What's up, guys? MAHA
Hey.
News, Friday, March 13th. What's up, Nate Dogg?
Oh, ready for a show, man.
Ready for a show.
Yeah, we got snow dumping down up here. So it looks like finally looks like Christmas outside. Only took till early March.
Yeah, and then next week we're supposed to get a heat wave around a good portion of the country, good portion of the West, which is not good because we're already low on snow. Out west was a terrible winter for snow across the West. So if that melts early, it's going to be very dry summer and a very probably bad wildfire season. So,
yep. Yeah,
if you're going to get your hiking in out west and your backpacking in, better do it in May, June, because late July, August will probably be smoky.
Yeah, I'm guessing no fireworks for July this year.
I don't know. I think they said at Mount Rushmore during the whole 250th America's anniversary thing, they're doing fireworks. But anyway, as for today's MAHA News, we're going to be jumping around quite a bit. We've got a lot of different topics just across the board to talk about, including we'll talk about some vaccine news, some vaccine stuff. During a portion of the show, we're going to touch on some research topics too. So vitamin D, Diet Coke, kidney stones, peptides. Nate found a lot of articles and new research coming out over the past week. So we'll go through that. We've got some healthcare fraud and then other stuff as well. So a lot of jumping around, ultra processed foods.
CIA documents.
Oh, yes, the CIA documents.
Yeah.
Indeed. Is the CIA hiding cancer cures? They all are. Okay. And then Geochem in the chat says he's got a few health questions today too. He's been to the doctor a lot in the past month. Cool. Yeah, we'll do a Q&A portion at the end of the show. We'll bring the chat up and do some Q&A. So
sweet. I like the sounds of that.
Good. Before we get to today's topics, today's news, we do have our first sponsor of the show, and that is Plastigon. Microplastics aren't somewhere out there anymore. They're here in your kitchen, your tap water, and your household dust. And now research is finding them in places no one ever imagined: human blood, lungs, and even breast milk. And the youngest among us, our children, are being exposed every day, and yet most parents have no idea how much they are invading their kids' bodies. Plasterproof changes that. It's the world's first at-home saliva test for microplastics. No needles, no clinic, no stress. A simple sample you collect at home and send to a certified lab located in the U.S., and yes, children can take the test too. You get a clear science-based report detailing levels found in the body and even how they entered the body. It's your baseline and your starting point to make changes toward a healthier lifestyle. Because once you know your exposure, you can finally take action. And that's where Plastigon comes in. Plastigon is a simple, gentle homeopathic patch designed to help your body detox from the microplastics. Peel it, stick it, forget it. Together, Plasterproof and Plastigon can help families move from uncertainty to clarity and from worry to action. Find them both at plastigon.com. And Badlanders get $40 off with code Badlands40. Only at plastigon.com. Cool.
Righteous.
Plasterproof, Plastigon, and some COVID news. HHS rapid response. On this day in 2020, the World Health Organization declared COVID a pandemic. 6 years already.
Is that mind-blowing?
6 years.
Dude, it seems like that was the day that the earth stood still.
Right? the day the PCR tests began to brainwash everybody. Man,
Yeah.
I just think about 2020. It was such a roller coaster. Obviously in the content creation game, right?
Oh, I bet.
I remember in January, I made I was flying home from an event I did out in Australia, actually, and I remember being at the Sydney airport waiting for my flight, and I hopped on my laptop, just scrolling around Twitter, doing some shit posting before I head home, and then I started seeing the word coronavirus. Coronavirus. I was getting a bunch of mentions and stuff. Coronavirus. It's like, what is this coronavirus thing? So I Googled it and I found some patents for a coronavirus from like 2015 from a foundation in the UK that was being given money by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So I made this quick thread basically calling coronavirus a new fad disease and showing these patents and saying, I bet they're going to come out with a vaccine for it. And is it bioengineered and all this stuff? And then I closed my laptop. I got on the plane. It was a 16-hour plane ride. I didn't have internet during it. I just slept. And then as soon as I got to the States, I turned on my phone and my thread was freaking viral. Like thousands of shares. And BuzzFeed, I think it was BuzzFeed, had already written an attack article, a hit piece on my thread. And it was just wild times. And then all the censorship and everything that happened during the rest of the year was just insane.
Yeah, that was a wild time.
And
the censorship was already an issue, but it really cranked up during that time, didn't it?
Yes. Yeah, because like chlorine dioxide, for instance, I had a video about chlorine dioxide that I think I published in 2018, and it was pretty much the most popular video on YouTube about chlorine dioxide. It was the #1 search result, had 300,000 or 400,000 views. And right after I started talking about chlorine dioxide, late January 2020, YouTube quickly removed that video. And I'd had probably a dozen YouTube videos, many dozens of posts on Facebook and Twitter censored throughout 2020. And then, of course, right before 2020 election, there was the mass censorship purge. So that was a doozy, man. Anyway, good times.
I'm glad they're kind of over. Still haven't seen justice. Waiting on justice.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. More justice that we need here. Fox News reports on a massive California taxpayer healthcare fraud scheme. An 87-year-old Nevada doctor's identity was used to file 76,000 claims representing $600 million in Los Angeles. And this doctor said he never billed Medicare for any of those patients.
Wow.
His identity was just stolen to then steal $600 million.
Dude. So somebody was able to take his identity and somehow represent to Medicare, like, this is who they were, send the checks here. You would think Medicare would have, like, caught that. Like, oh, why are we sending these checks to, Iowa? Isn't the doctor in Los Angeles? Seems wild.
With that amount of money and that many claims, there had to have been some inside baseball on that one.
That's a really good point.
You had to have had some government official or somebody on the inside, whether it was a state, had to have been a state official in California, or somebody in the federal agency helping them out with that. But
yeah, it was to pay for Pelosi's private jet.
For sure. Filled with vodka.
And bad haircuts.
Nate, are you upset about soldiers eating steak and lobster?
No, I actually think that's cool. I mean,
I 100% support it.
Yeah, I do too.
They deserve some steak and lobster after all the freaking MREs they're eating. So, some videos going viral over the last week. Of course, because of the military conflict going on in the Middle East, soldiers are, they're getting fed, they're getting treated well. I guess Pete Hegseth and the Department of War, I don't know the exact number, but I think I've seen it ranging around $15 to $20 million was spent on steak, lobster, food for, hundreds of thousands of soldiers. So it's not like only a few 20 million were spent on, but they got a lot of good food. And media, lefties, your brainwashed folk out there, some individuals were upset over the fact that soldiers were eating steak and lobster dinners. Stupid. Totally stupid.
It is.
I mean, I have no problem having our soldiers eat better food that's going to make them perform better or just raise morale. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what this was. It was a morale boosting, give them a nice meal. It's not like they're eating the steak and lobster for every single meal, but give them a nice meal, even a couple, and boost morale. But I think, they need to eat better food all the time.
I mean, I would love to see them eat like this, get steak and that good meals like this, like at least a couple of times a week. So
for sure.
Let's do it more, man. I mean, if somebody's
want-
going to give up the portion of their life and they give up so much. I know that there's a lot of benefits included, but they do give up so much. So they 100% deserve to be fed well and treated well.
Yeah, they sign at least 4 years of their life to the government, to the military. So feed them well. Plus, if we want them performing at their highest level, they need good food to do that. Yeah. But the main hypocrisy here I want to point out is that we have SNAP, EBT, government food welfare that gets how many billions of dollars funneled into it, and then how many hundreds of thousands or millions of people are taking that SNAP money to go buy garbage shit, Coke and chips. The problem's there.
Yep.
But that's to the tune of multiple billions of dollars per year. But hey, steak and lobster for some troops. Big deal. Now let's touch on the story going viral that I think is being a little misrepresented, a little misunderstood. Is the CIA hiding cancer cures? So the Daily Mail published this article. CIA faces furious backlash after hidden document with potential cure for cancer is declassified. That was their post. That's what their post on X said. All right.
Right.
Now, is the community note still on this one? It is. All right. Let's actually bring up the article. I'm not going to read the note. Let's bring up the article itself. Because when you actually read the article, it discusses how this article was these documents, the CIA actually declassified them 12 years ago. This is nothing new. They've been online for well over a decade. And when you read through this article, as well as those documents, they say nothing about a cancer cure. This caption the Daily Mail wrote is not what's in the article at all.
What?
This is pure clickbait. Here's the community note. The community note said the 1951 CIA document was declassified in 2011, not recently, and summarizes Soviet research on parasite tumor similarities without claiming a cure. Recent backlash stems from it resurfacing, but the post overstates it as a hidden cure just declassified. Yeah, this has been online for over a decade. It really didn't talk about a cure, didn't use the cure word at all. So this is a...
Is the Daily Mail struggling to be relevant?
The Daily Mail is kind of tabloidy. They're like right-wing-ish news out of the UK. So you'll find some better information out of the Daily Mail than you will like the BBC, for instance, or Sky News.
Mhm.
But the Daily Mail is tabloidy-esque for sure.
Yeah.
So they are good to keep track of, but don't, understand that they are doing some stuff for clicks.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it worked because this article was shared pretty far and wide.
11 million views, 11 million
Jeez.
impressions.
Now,
Now,
I think I was just going to say, like, Jordan, but do you think that the CIA, it's possible that they are hiding cancer cures?
yeah, that's a good thing to bring up. The CIA itself, no. But, kind of nuance here. I do think the CIA and FBI have been used as assets to suppress different alternative treatments, for sure. But I think that suppression mainly comes from the three-letter health agencies, because the FDA does have a tactical unit and an investigative unit as well. So I think mainly the suppression has come from in the past the three-letter health agencies, and maybe big pharma corporations themselves hiring private contractors to do the surveillance and censorship of alternative doctors. But no, actually, I don't think the CIA and the FBI really are to blame. I think it would be pharma and the FDA.
I can't help but okay, so I guess that what you just said kind of answers my question. Is I'm wondering, well, why did the CIA classify this in the first place?
Yeah, I
And that
think it's
kind of
because it was a Soviet research during the height of the Cold War. So they didn't want the Soviets to know what they were looking at, and
Mm.
Sources and methods and all that. But
Hmm.
now let's talk about, okay, so these documents had to do with anti-parasitic drugs, and of course ivermectin, and is it fenbendazole? Am I
Yeah.
saying that right?
Yep.
Fenben.
Nailed it.
They're getting really popular, really, really viral. And that I think they're very helpful tools, ivermectin and fenben, but they're not going to do everything. It's important to know when to use the tool and when to not use the tool. I can just say from my own personal experience and what I would do if I were to find out I had cancer, I frankly would not go for ivermectin and fenben. I would personally go for probably a hybrid protocol of chlorine dioxide, Gerson therapy, and probably load up with turkey tail medicinal mushrooms. That's what I would personally do. And I have seen that specific protocol work with late stage cancers before in my life, which is why I'm confident that that's what I would do.
Yeah.
And you have experience with Gerson, right?
Yep. Seen it work.
And I don't like the word cure at all in the first place. I don't like that 4-letter C word, because calling anything a cure invokes this kind of magic pill mindset with the compound or the protocol.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be very dangerous, because if you do not change your lifestyle, if you don't change your habits and behaviors that brought you disease in the first place, sure, maybe you do a drug, or maybe you do a compound, or even a natural treatment and get rid of the cancer. But if you don't change your underlying behaviors and habits, then some kind of disease or that cancer will just come right back. So calling something a cure invokes this kind of magic pill. Oh my God, it must be gold. I need it. Everybody needs it. Well, Also, some treatments and some compounds might work better for some people than other people. So, one quote unquote cure might work for somebody, doesn't work for another. So,
the only thing I would add to what you just said is you mentioned the changing lifestyle and behaviors, and sometimes I believe it has nothing to do with lifestyle and behavior. It could be your environment. So sometimes it's changing the environment that you're in.
Yeah, that's lifestyle and behavior, though.
Now, come on, man.
That's where you're choosing to place yourself, right? Same thing. Come on, man. No, that's a good point, though, right? And that's why I really like Gerson therapy, because it addresses that. It addresses it's kind of like a lifestyle behavior changing.
You can't do Gerson without totally upheaving your normal life. Like it completely throws you off the track.
You flood your body with nutrition, you change your whole diet, you're detoxing heavily. Yep. So that's why I'm a big fan of Gerson. And then I would throw in, I would do like a hybrid Gerson, chlorine dioxide, ton of turkey tail mushroom too.
Yeah.
I think ivermectin's being oversold for cancer. Anti-parasite, great. And sure, yeah. I mean,
I would much rather
out of the body will have an effect with some anti-cancer, but just like people are, I think, looking at ivermectin as being like a magic pill.
Well, but let's rewind 20 years and look at it. People were looking as, like when you had the C word, your only option was chemo or radiation. And so now I think this is what I think is really great about ivermectin and Fen-Ben and all this chat is that it gives people an alternative to the chemo and radiation route. And I would much rather see population chugging pills of ivermectin than getting chemo. 100%.
Oh, 100%. Although if they're expecting ivermectin to be the thing that cures them, meanwhile, their specific disease would have had much better success with a different alternative protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Then, right? I mean, you need to have the information available to understand all the tools and which tools are better for the job and which ones are not, right? Yeah. So I think by calling something a cure, people are thinking, well, this tool will be good for everything and everybody needs that one. Not the case, right?
Right.
Might be. So anyway, there's a lot of nuance to that conversation. So, all right, switching subjects here, getting into Rand Paul's new bill designed to remove liability for vaccine manufacturers.
Send it.
Pass it. Vote it.
Yes.
Sign it. Bill it. Since 1986, Rand Paul tweets, Big Pharma has faced zero liability for vaccine injuries. Zero. No other industry gets that deal. My bill, the End the Vaccine Carveout Act, strips that special protection and holds them accountable like every other company in America. No one should be above the law.
I swear we just had a graph that we had, it was like maybe 2 episodes ago, that showed when the Zero Liability Act was passed in 86 and the subsequent spike in the autism rates happened right after. I mean, kind of goes.
Didn't you mention to me that a few other Congress people have introduced similar bills?
Yeah, I thought maybe Massey introduced something like this not too long ago, and I thought Rand Paul introduced something like this. Maybe it was a few months ago. I don't know if this is like his second go round. But I swear that somebody has introduced this in the recent past.
I think I remember that. I think I remember us speaking about it at some point last year. So hopefully this goes somewhere.
Yep.
Not Not expecting much, though. Just with the nature of Congress.
Right.
So, state news. Colorado just introduced a bill that creates a legal presumption that properly administered vaccines do not cause injury or death. They didn't say rarely cause or sometimes causes. The legal presumption is that they do not cause injury or death ever. This is written into law in a state where the vaccine package inserts, the ones wrapped around the products themselves, list death and injury as known outcomes every single year. The bill also authorizes pharmacists to independently prescribe vaccines without a physician or oversight. Just hand it over. That's pretty insane.
Like, can they get any more in your face? I mean, you know, a person just out of the charity of the heart didn't, sit down and write this bill, for the good of the people. 100%. This was funded and organized by somebody within Big Pharma, I would assume. Maybe I'm wrong.
I want to look at what this House bill or Senate bill is, HB number, whoever, and see who introduced it into the Colorado state legislature. And I bet you could find exactly who introduced it and why. Look up their donors. But just imagine that. I mean, literally on the vaccine insert, it says possible side effect, injury. Yet Colorado wants to write a law that says the complete opposite of what the vaccine freaking insert says.
Let's see. So it looks like it's Senate Bill 26-032.
What was that?
I got the Senate bill here. I'm trying to find who organized it.
You said 26-032?
Correct.
Promoting immunization access. Prime sponsors: Lindsay Doherty, Kyle Mullica, Lisa Ferret, Kyle Brown.
Cal. Where's Ike?
That's a lot of words. Too bad I'm not reading them. Let's see. I bet it's her. She looks pretty vaccinated. Democrat, of course. Committee assignments, Health and Human Services. I want your funding. Give me like an open corporates. Top donors. That's a different Lindsay Doherty. Wrong one. Colorado. Colorado Capital Watch. Okay, maybe. See, it's tough to find an open corporates on her because she's a state legislator. So it can be. Let's see. We have a Twitter account for her. Nope, we don't. Okay. Is that what I want? Lindsay Doherty, Colorado. Okay.
So it from Grok, it's saying that the implementation costs of introducing this bill was a quote unquote small one-time state appropriation of $20,000. Looks like that was split between the general fund and federal funds.
Huh.
So
anyway,
have fun with that, Colorado.
Colorado's cooked. Yep, Colorado's cooked. Let's see. RFK Jr. speaking on the MMR vaccine. Is this recent? I guess it is. This looks older, but yeah, I think RFK Jr. did an interview with Brett Baer recently. Anyway, here he is speaking about how the MMR vaccine uses aborted fetal tissue in its development.
Oof.
MMR vaccine that we currently use has millions of particles from were created from aborted fetal tissue, millions of DNA fragments, and there are people who have religious objections toward those, and those people should be treated with compassion. If they come to a hospital and they're sick, we need to know how to treat them and what.
Religious arguments aside, let's just look at this from a pure logic standpoint. Is it a good idea to inject that in your body?
Man, I'm not thrilled. Like, I wouldn't even want to put that in my mouth, let alone bypass all my natural filters and put it into my blood. I don't know.
I don't want to filter through any kind of spiritual religious bias. It's important, don't get me wrong. I mean, that's definitely important to do, but I just want to boil this down to the most basic fundamental level. Pure logic, right?
Yeah.
Inject heavy metals, polysorbate 80, aluminum, mercury, whatever adjuvants, right? But also, what kind of mRNA or DNA strains, what kind of residue is left over from the aborted fetal tissue processing?
Right.
That might be getting injected into the bloodstream. Nah, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. And then on top of that argument, we can layer in the spiritual and or religious angle of, well, hell no, I don't want to take that, because look at what you had to do to make it in the first place. So
yeah. And wasn't NIH Director Bhattacharya just talking last week about the safety of the measles vaccines, the efficacy?
Oh yeah.
Vaccine.
We should be on the lookout for any possible disagreements.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep an eye out for that.
Okay.
I'm curious if maybe Bhattacharya starts kind of diverging away from RFK or Marty McCarry. We'll kind of see if they're over the next few
I think
weeks.
that would be a good one to track, because it kind of
Oh, here's a good question from hold on, we're streaming through Rumble Studio today, so I can't pop up comments on the screen. We got to look at the chat this way today. But Lisa here. And how toxic are the vaccines being jabbed into our pets?
Mm-hmm.
You got any dogs or cats, Nate?
Yeah. 3 dogs, 1 cat.
Do you vaccinate them?
My wife works at a veterinary hospital, so let's just say there's some contention.
It's pressured.
Yeah.
Man.
I've done what I can.
But how many? Can you search on Grok real quick? How many vaccines are administered to pets? We'll say dogs and cats. We won't even include. Oh shoot! Maybe we should include cows, because I bet there's a lot that farmers.
Oh, dude, I bet you that's probably even bigger than the dogs and cats.
Can you just do a couple quick searches? Like how many vaccines are administered to dogs and cats in this country, and then maybe do another search for cows? If you could do that while I read this Rumble rant. Thank you,
Sure.
Jojo. What's our opinion on the targeting effect of GO, you mean graphene oxide, in antibiotics, and why the consumption of it could potentially turn us into an Etch-a-Sketch? Frankly, I think there is a lot of I've seen a lot of sensationalist conspiracy content on the social media platforms regarding graphene oxide. I'm not saying it's healthy or great for us, but I think the negative effects of it might be a little overblown. I'm frankly not all that familiar, so I will say that. I'm just basing my opinion here on the content itself, who talks about it, how they frame their arguments, how they create their videos and everything. It is very sensationalist. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't get any vaccines myself in the first place, so, and I did not get any COVID shots, so I'm not too concerned about the graphene oxide unless they're spraying it from the chemtrails, but there would be no way, at least I know of, that I would ingest it.
So it looks like estimates for dogs and cats are hundreds of millions of doses per year, because there's about 87 million dogs and 76 million cats in the US alone. So that's a lot. And then for cattle, it looks like the global cattle population exceeds 1 billion. So 1 to 3 doses per animal per year. So
Hold on,
a
you
lot.
said hundreds of millions for cats and dogs, and then over 1 billion for livestock?
Yeah.
Good God. That's
Yeah.
far more than humans.
Yeah. There's their cash cow right there.
I see what we did there. Oh, shit.
Thanks.
Oh, crap. My contact just fell out.
Uh-oh.
So I'm good. I have one in. I can kind of read the screen. I might have
Yeah.
to run downstairs and grab my glasses. But
All good, man.
cool. So yeah, I can kind of read. That's wild, though. That's
What a
insane.
trooper.
Billions. I mean, oh, I wonder how much they're making from that too. We should do one of our MAHA livings coming up on this. Pet episode. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that on pet food. Pet shots.
I'm making a note of it.
Make a note, please. That'd be a real good MAHA living episode. Cool. Anyway, question time. What up, Geochem? Do either of us get the tetanus shot at all? He works with metal. I do not.
Mm-mm.
Granted, I don't do any kind of fabrication work. Nate, have you ever gotten tetanus?
It was before I was awake to this stuff. I fell out of a truck 4th of July, having a really good time, and all I was wearing was a bathing suit, and I cracked my head open, and I remember I got tetanus, the shots, and I've regretted it ever since. Otherwise, no. Nope. I mean, because even if you, let's say you injure yourself and you contract tetanus, if you get the shot then or even after, it doesn't do anything for you anyway. Pointless.
Yeah, I do not. I'm not quite all that familiar, and I've never had to get the tetanus shot. So if you guys in the comments could chime in with any kind of experience or information that you have, that'd be great. Eleanor says, no, do not get the tetanus. If you could expound on that, why not get it, and what you can do alternatively, that'd be very helpful. Let's give Geochem some research here.
So it looks like, hey, just one last thing on the shot, or the shots for animals. Looks like the profit margins on those are between $1 to $7 per dose.
Woo!
Yeah.
Geochem asks because he knows somebody who got lockjaw from it. From the tetanus shot or from tetanus? Yeah, I don't know. Funny how nobody has ever seen anyone with tetanus, says Kamakirade. Well, the pro-vaxxers would say that's because everybody's been vaccinated. But,
Yeah, well, how come the metal is still getting the tetanus if we've all gotten vaccinated? You see
Eleanor
the logic.
says the likelihood is very, very rare. Tetanus shot was based on very few studies, and they found that the tetanus shot decreased fertility. All right, we'll do another chat portion, Q&A portion towards the end of the show, because we've got to get to our next sponsor, and that is our friends over at Rumble. Rumble Wallet. Here's a little inside scoop that many creators are talking about behind the scenes. It's actually one of the reasons we're using Rumble. They made a way to super chat creators so we get paid immediately and without any fees. That's huge because some of these apps take a lot of freaking fees. YouTube and Twitch take up to 50% of fees when you tip creators. This method takes none. That's right. The platform takes 0 fees. We keep nearly 100% of what you send. You can super chat with Bitcoin, Tether USD, or even Tether Gold stablecoins. This is a crypto function embedded into Rumble. The tip will show up directly on our Rumble chat. All you need to do is download the Rumble wallet on the App Store, and you can send the tips to your favorite creators as long as you have some Bitcoin. And you can go to wallet.rumble.com, or you can download the app directly from the app stores. It's just an awesome way to get rid of the middleman and help the creator economy. And shout out to Rumble for making this all happen. Rumble Wallet is awesome. I had some, on my personal channels, I had some folks tip me in some Bitcoin, and it's just like a YouTube super chat. Little note comes up, you got sent some Bitcoin, and that shows up right in the wallet. And then, 0 fees. So most of the times, the platforms themselves will take 20% right off the top. And then if you're sending a super chat or a Rumble rant on your iPhone, it's another 30% that Apple takes. So that's where the 50% comes from. So you might be sending, if you're sending $10 on the phone, only 5 of that is going to the creator. If you're sending it on desktop, 80% goes to the creator because 20% gets taken by either Rumble or YouTube. But Rumble Wallet, 0. So pretty cool. Wallet.rumble.com. All right, let's get into, one more thing on vaccines, and then we'll get into some other topics. Quick stat, 56% of Americans now believe COVID shots cause mass deaths.
Only took 6 years to get there. Wow, 5 years, I guess. Wait, how long after COVID did the vaccine roll out?
Yeah, it was like end of 2020. So it was like 9 months.
Okay. Huh.
I don't know if that's a quick time or a slow. Like 5 years. Because I mean, beforehand, dude, before COVID, 99% of people did not question vaccines.
Yep.
For decades. There was like no progress being made on that for decades. And ever since COVID, I mean, honestly, 5 years to get that many people questioning and thinking that about a vaccine, it's actually kind of fast.
Yeah. That's a massive shift in society to get to this point. Those doctors relying on all those kickbacks, they must be pissed. I can't afford my Bentley this year.
Statistics on trusting doctors. This is coming from Dr. Oz. I suppose maybe one of the doctors we can trust. But He said Americans' trust in physicians and hospitals decreased more than 40%. Speaking of the COVID years, between 2020 and 2024.
Wow.
Like half.
That's crazy. So you got 10 people lined up. 4 of them just turned around and walked away from their doctor.
COVID really did wake a lot of people up.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yep. Well, I mean, we went through a crucible. I mean, that was like walking through fire.
Yeah. Another question here from Geochem. It's a sardine question, so you know I have to answer it. Anyone know how many grams of protein are in one standard can of sardines? Yeah, it's a 3.75 ounce can. It's about 18 grams. So sometimes I find myself eating 2. I wish they made the can about 1.5 times larger, because 2 cans is usually too much sardine for me. 1 is not enough. I wish they made like a 5 ounce can. That'd be great. But yeah, about 18 grams. How much salt? It depends. Some of them have added salt, some don't. So you just have to check the brand. But
how long before we see a conscious strength 5 ounce can?
Oh, dude. I'll be out there catching them myself.
There you go.
All right. Malone. He's just chiming in on some vaccines. He said he'd love to see an HHS webpage and corresponding research for the COVID-19 vaccine injured.
Isn't ACIP meeting here in actually a couple of days to discuss vaccine injuries?
18th, right? So I think 5 days? Next Wednesday?
Yep.
So yeah, next week's MAHA news, I'm sure we'll have some ACIP news to discuss. Also, I find it notable here that this is from the Surgeon General's webpage. So the Surgeon General is going to be putting out new statistics on COVID. And Casey Means was she confirmed to Surgeon General?
Last we discussed, she was not.
Okay, because we were watching her confirmation clips last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It was like a week or 2 ago. We were watching her confirmation hearing clips. I don't know if they.
She has not.
Okay.
She has not been confirmed yet.
And then let's talk about RFK and some processed foods. Wasn't it in when did RFK? I think he said this during his Joe Rogan podcast. When did he say that they were coming out with a technical definition of ultra processed foods?
Ooh, wasn't that a couple months?
I think it was April. Didn't he say by the end of April?
Yeah, I don't recall.
I think it was the end of April. So within the next month and a half, we should be getting a technical, maybe even a legal definition of what ultra processed foods is, which will be important because that will help then set policy within a legal framework, and then it'll be easier to determine, say, what SNAP dollars go to what foods and what foods are allowed in schools and everywhere else. So actually that ultra processed definition will be important.
I wonder if they're going to require some sort of, I know they talked about the colored dots, but some sort of label on food packaging.
That's right.
Like ultra processed. And you were correct. It is April.
Yeah. He said that, yeah, he suggested one thing they're looking at is just like a little colored stripe. Like green means good, yellow means a little bit, red means processed to shit or something like that. So, that'd be good. Play a couple quick clips here that Kennedy had posted this week.
And by the way, we're not going to get rid of ultra processed foods. you're an American. We're not a nanny state. If people want to drink a soda pop or if they want to eat a donut, they're going to be able to do that. We're going to tell them exactly what the cost is of doing that. And we're going to tell them the foods that are healthy and the foods that are not. But it's all going to be driven by individual choice. And, you know,
Can we do the same thing with drugs?
That sounds
It's not a nanny state, right? If you want
Sounds
to
like a
smoke
good
some
idea.
pot or eat some mushrooms, go for it. We're just going to give you the information about it.
sounds legit.
Ah,
I'm game.
freedom. Freedom. But no, yeah, good point there, right? I mean, shoot, I'll get down on a maple bar or a apple fritter now and again, but very sparingly. Maybe
Yeah.
once a month. Once a month. But oh, dude, when I had cheat days, oh my god, I'd probably eat like 4,000 calories, maybe 5,000. I just go to town, man. 3 or 4 donuts. I get a maple bar. I get a chocolate bar, and then apple fritter, and I'll eat all 3 of those and have like a big fat glass of raw milk to wash it down.
There you go.
But
That's it.
right, like not even every week. We're talking every few weeks, like once a month, maybe. So it's just having the discipline to, when you're gonna go to town, like have some fun, go to town, but have the discipline to make that a rare occasion. And it's the little things that add up as well, right? So having the beer when you get home from work, but it's every day, or having a dessert after dinner, but it's every day. Then no, don't make it a daily habit, right? If you're gonna do a dessert, like a little piece of cheesecake, fine, but don't make it every day, and don't lie to yourself about that.
I think that's an issue it's a trap that some people can fall in, especially, like if they're working out every day. They're like, oh, well, I'm working out, so I deserve this. And even if you're working out, those small things add up, can destroy all your progress.
There is a comment here I want to touch on, though. Folks, don't have cheat days. Poisoning your body isn't good. Detox, then retox. Refeed days are very important, to me at least. And I feel great. I feel freaking great when I have my cheat days or refeed days. Because you imagine if you're detoxing, if you're eating real healthy, doing all the right things for 30 days, and then you have one day where you let loose a little bit, not a big deal. And as long as you're detoxing more than you are retoxing, plus for somebody active and lifting weights and all that, having a day where you just eat like hundreds of grams of carbs, it's actually very helpful to get that glycogen back into your muscles. Sure, I could do it with rice or pasta or something, but I got a sweet tooth, man. Screw it. I'm gonna do it with maple bars. Sue me.
Well, and I think if you're that strict with yourself too, I mean, that's an easy way to lose motivation. Like if you're just constantly in denial, no, I'm not going to touch that. It's bad for me. I don't know. Psychologically, I think it can make it difficult.
The problem, Rocket Savvy says here, the problem with eating addictive foods as cheats is that you reactivate your addiction. You do have a point there, right? I mean, a lot of people use food as a drug and they lied to themselves about it. But this is where it takes good honed discipline to understand that this is an addictive food I'm eating. It is giving me a dopamine hit. I am enjoying that dopamine hit, but I also understand that one-time thing and done. And that takes a honed sense of discipline to do. Not a lot of people can some people out there can't do that, and then it does send them into like a spiral. That's, you find when a lot of people are getting off like some kind of bad habit they're addicted to. Let's take cigarettes for an example, or alcohol. When some people quit their addiction to cigarettes or alcohol, then they just start binging food and they gain weight like crazy. They get real fat because they just replaced one addiction for another addiction. They just replaced cigarettes with sugar. So I'm all for the refeed cheat days, but you really have to do it responsibly.
Yeah, I think something else too with the cheat days and going in that direction, it's different. Like if you have a cheat day and you're grabbing, little Debbie snacks or whatever, and you're just shoving your mouth full of ultra processed foods, that's a lot different than having a cheat day and having like whole milk ice cream and like legit figs, whatever, like sugary foods that meet your craving desire that still are semi pure and not processed. That's totally different.
Yeah, when I'm eating donuts, I'm not going to Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
When I'm having a cheat day, I'm still going to be finding the healthier alternative of the shit food. It's not healthy. It's just a healthier alternative.
Cleaner
of the
version.
trash. So,
yeah.
What was my moderation comment? I used to say, everything in moderation, including moderation. And I think that's the actual quote from Oscar Wilde, if I'm getting the quotee right. But yeah, I mean, you hear that all the time. Everything in moderation, including moderation. Or no, you hear that all the time without the second part. Everything in moderation, which I think is a garbage quote. That is an excuse people use to do a lot of bad stuff. Everything in moderation. Fentanyl, you're going to moderate fentanyl too, right? So, no, some stuff you shouldn't do at all. You should be strict and exempt, but sometimes let loose a little bit. Cool, Rocket Savvy. He just said he's going to be doing a few Substack articles on food addiction in April. Sweet. When you write those, share it with us. Yeah. It'd be cool to check out. All right. Let's get back onto... Had another video here from Kennedy on ultra-processed foods, but we just went to town talking about that. RFK Jr. shared shocking stats showing how real food lowers violence in prisons. When they change the food to real food in prisons, the violence goes down 50%. Disciplinary problems go down 50%.
Now imagine that change across the nation.
Put it in schools.
Yep.
Does that mean we should continue feeding our military garbage foods so they stay violent, though? I don't know.
I can't believe you went there.
Sorry. You're picking up what I'm putting down, though.
I get it.
All right.
So, like, right before we send them out, be like, "Oh, here's have some Twinkies."
Yeah. Bruh! Hulk smash, angry. Yeah.
It's the modern variation to methamphetamine before battle. Eat a Twinkie.
Dude, I'm like, why don't they give soldiers steroids? If we want them to be the most badass trained killer warriors possible, at least give special forces some peptides. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Let them do it if they want to. All right. RFK Jr. shares his no BS fitness routine on Lex Fridman's podcast, and it's impressively disciplined for a guy in his 70s. Intermittent fasting. He eats only between noon and 6 and 7 p.m. Daily uphill hike, 1.5 miles up and then 1.5 miles down. Meditation every day before the gym. Intense 35-minute gym sessions. 4 rotating routines, back, chest, legs, miscellaneous, never relaxes. Sounds like he does just circuit training for a quick 35 minutes. First set of every exercise, failure at 12 reps. Final 4th set, strip set, drop sets to total failure. All right, cool. He knows what he's doing. I dig the intermittent fasting. Pretty much what I do. I don't eat till late morning. Stop eating around 7, 8 p.m. I don't do a daily uphill hike, but I do run quite a bit. So, all right. Meditation every day before the gym. I'm like an hour workout person. 35
Yeah,
minutes.
I feel
is not enough.
I feel like I can't get a good workout with less than about 45 minutes.
Maybe when I'm 70, that'll change. But I need a good 15-minute, 20-minute warm up, and then go pretty hard for 40 minutes at the weights. Yeah. He does 4 sets. I dig that. I like about 4 to 5 sets per exercise. Failure at 12 reps. Drop sets. I like the drop sets. Yeah, good stuff, man. He knows what he's doing. And then let's go through our research portion. So we got some topics. Notable research of the day. Ozempic. 1 in 8 Americans is currently taking a GLP-1 Ozempic-like drug or Ozempic itself.
That is insane. I didn't know it was that popular.
I didn't either. I don't know anybody, or at least that I know of, taking any kind of Ozempic. Do you know anybody?
Yeah, I do.
Huh.
Not many.
Yeah, I don't know.
So 30% higher chance of osteoporosis.
Wow.
That's
100%, like double your chance of osteomalacia. 12% higher risk of gout.
Wait, now gout, is that because it is kind of the root cause? Is that because your liver or your kidneys isn't processing oxalates?
Kidneys.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So, well, also advertisements everywhere.
Yeah.
I've heard them on radio, TV. I've seen advertisements for like microdosing GLP-1 drugs now.
Mm-hmm.
Pills, injections. It's too much, man. Oh my God.
Somebody I knew was microdosing something like Ozempic, same mechanism. And she said that, like it did wonders for brain inflammation. She's like, this is the clearest I've felt forever. But then after about 2 months, started having some pretty significant side effects and cut it off. So.
Again, magic pill.
Yep.
Magic pill mindset. People don't want to do it the hard way. They want to
I
do it
think
the easy way, take the shortcuts.
I think it's also realistic that there's a lot of people that, they have tried a lot, maybe not everything, but they feel like they've tried a lot and they're just looking for like, get me out of this, like help. And so if it's an easy solution. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying I can understand a lot of people's position.
Yeah, but in my experience, when people say I've tried everything, usually that means they've tried like two things. Like they're totally lying to themselves about how much they've really tried. They just haven't put in the effort to actually research what's out there or try a variety of things. They just tell themselves a lie that they've tried everything so they can feel better about the shortcut they're about to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I've experienced this with hundreds, if not thousands of people I've talked to throughout my life who have said, I've tried everything. Usually like 93% of the time that turns out to be bullshit. They've not, in fact, tried everything.
Yeah.
Diet Coke. Dr. Rhonda Patrick drops a wild irony bomb on Diet Coke. You're ditching sugar to avoid insulin spikes and obesity, but aspartame, Diet Coke's main sweetener, reshapes your gut microbiome to favor bacteria that harvest glucose more efficiently, making you more prone to weight gain.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dude, I'm really concerned about the fitness industry right now. I've been kind of scrolling around Instagram recently, and there are a lot of fitness influencers on Instagram who tell their followers to drink diet drinks all the time because it's got less calories, it doesn't have sugar, you can keep your carbs and calories down. And they go to great lengths to tell their 100,000 or 500,000 followers that artificial sweeteners are fine.
Yeah.
You know, you're just drinking a tiny little amount. That tiny little amount isn't toxic and blah, blah, blah. They're going crazy lengths to justify their Diet Coke promotion. I hate it. I hate the nutrition, the fitness industry, particularly.
Yeah.
Bunch of trust the science bros. Vitamin D. Oh, did you have one more thing you wanted to say?
I was going to say, I mean, I think that their perspectives would shift or will shift when they run into a health crisis, and it's not, anymore just about having tanned biceps, and suddenly they're like, oh, something's wrong with my body, I need to fix it. And then that's usually when those bodybuilders or the people are focused on aesthetics only dive into the actual health aspects of fitness. I would guess the majority of them will come around someday after they've led 1 million plus people the wrong direction.
But their egos are so invested in what they think they know that
it's true.
They might not. They might just keep trusting the science and go get chemo, and then after their chemo, they'll be like, "Oh, I want to gain muscle," so they'll do steroids, and then I don't know. All right, vitamin D. Massive study, 25,000 adults, 4 years. Daily 2,000 IU vitamin D supplementation preserved telomere health, equivalent to slowing biological aging by 3 years. So basically, vitamin D, very anti-aging.
Sweet.
And then lastly, Huberman here. I don't know if I agree with this one. Personalized peptide stacks could become as normal as vitamins, he says. Andrew Huberman on where the supplement industry is heading, pretty much. In 5 years, you and I are going to have a little cocktail. It's going to be one injection or one pill, whatever I need to ramp up my dopaminergic system a little bit to make sure I'm getting enough micronutrients. Maybe I'm going to put a little Clotho in there to protect me against Alzheimer's. All that stuff is going to be commonplace the same way that people are not afraid of vitamin D or they're taking some creatine or magnesium. I think most everyone is going to be doing that.
What are your thoughts about that?
I will not be doing that.
No?
I bet you Huberman has invested into a peptide company. If we did some Googling or some grokking, I bet we could find an investment that Huberman has made into a peptide company recently. Or if he hasn't, I bet you he will within the next like 3 months. But no, man, people just, I mean, Ozempic is a peptide, right? People are going to, they're becoming so dependent on these peptides. Again, they want the shortcut. They don't want to do the hard work. And I'm not anti-peptide. I think there's a time and place for them because they appear to be very powerful tools. But when you become dependent on the tool and then you're so obsessed with it and want the shortcut that you totally ignore the drawbacks from it, the negative effects. No, man. I don't like this peptide craze going on.
So when I don't know enough about peptides to really comment on how safe are they. I guess if we look at Ozempic, we obviously see that some peptides can do quite a bit of damage and have profound effects on your physical body. So I guess it would depend on what they were like. I mean, like, I'm not opposed to vitamin supplementation for improved health.
Yeah, I just, oh no, man. Oh no.
Yeah.
Rocket Savvy says vitamin D supplementation has many important advantages. Best to check your levels and optimize. They take 10,000 IUs in the winter and 5,000 in the summer. Sweet. I do about 5,000 in the winter, and sometimes I don't in the summer. It depends on how much I get outside, but if I'm not getting outside much, I might take 2,000 in the summer. But I try to get outside enough to where I don't need to supplement the D. But yeah, that's a good baseline there. 10,000 in the winter and 5,000 in the summer. Depends on where you live too, how sunny it is out, how much you're getting outside.
I remember I think you hear quite often that too much vitamin D can have negative side effects. And then there was a dude, I don't remember when this was. I think it was a while ago, but he pushed that to the limit. He was doing like 1 million IU a day and with no negative effects.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. It is really difficult to do 1 million IU a day.
Yeah, it was a ton. Let me see if I can find this guy.
I'm just thinking of doing 1 million IU a day is realistic. You'd have to take the highest vitamin D. I mean, maybe he got injections or something, but the highest vitamin D pill I've ever found was 10,000 IU. I think I might have seen a 50,000 out there before, but I know 10,000 you can get pretty easy. He would have had to take 100 10,000 IU capsules a day.
Yeah, 900,000 IU a day.
He was doing 900,000 a day.
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude. That's like 3 bottles. That's like $100 a day in vitamin D.
Yeah.
For research.
Massive bolus, BOLUS. Bolus dose. I don't know. Bolus. I've never heard that term. Yeah, nuts.
Your microbiome will improve if you're eating plenty of fiber. Good bacteria in your gut. Eat the fiber and multiply. Yep. Don't just, we did an episode of MAHA living on the microbiome about a month back. You want the good bacteria from the fermented foods or the probiotics, but you also need to feed those probiotics, and that's where the fiber comes in. So chia seeds, beans, fruit, veg, those prebiotic fibers. I think, what was it? Garlic, onion, bananas, certain kinds of potatoes, very high on those inulins, those prebiotics.
Green bananas more so. And then I've also heard something about the starch in potatoes. So if you cook a potato or pasta and you let it rest for 24 hours, it changes the structure so that it's a good prebiotic.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need vitamin K with your vitamin D. That's kind of a misconception some people are getting. You can absorb vitamin D without vitamin K, but you do need vitamin D to absorb vitamin K. So when I supplement with vitamin D, it's only vitamin D. You don't need K with it, but I'm not a full carnivore. I am still an appreciator of some fruit and veg. So I take, I like to juice now and again. I also take a greens powder now and again. So I'm getting plenty of vitamin K.
You know what happens when you combine D and K? You get Donkey Kong.
I was really worried about a dick joke coming there or something.
No, man.
You had me really nervous. Geochem, last question. Blood work came back green except liver. Yes, alcohol. They ordered tests for vitamin D, B12, and B1. Any idea the correlation to the liver? Doctor scamming medical. What do you mean? Correlate, like, are you asking if vitamin D and the Bs are correlated with the liver, or are you just telling me that you like to drink booze? Let's see here. Let me scroll through this and see if we can find any more questions. Otherwise, I think we will finish up the show. Aspartame is a neurotoxin, indeed, as well as the other artificial sweeteners. Sucralose also impacts your gut bacteria too. So aspartame is really not that common. It is in Diet Coke and so is diet sodas. But the other artificial sweeteners, the sucralose and the acesulfame potassium, are far more common than aspartame, but those also impact your gut. So,
you know what gets me is I have gotten quite a bit of heat on social media advertisements for Flow Blend on stevia. Like there's a lot of people out there who have a very negative.
Do they say it is a fertility? Messes with fertility?
Yeah, I've heard that one. I understand a lot of people just don't like the taste, but a lot of people conflate it to
they
artificial.
do conflate it with sucralose. There was one study like 10, 15 years ago on rats that showed stevia does impact their fertility, but the amount of stevia they were giving to these rats was pretty insane.
Yeah.
And the amount of stevia that is put into the average smoothie or product is so minor and low. I mean, I'm not a fan of the taste of stevia, really.
Yeah.
But if stevia is in a drink or something, I'm not going to freak out over it. It's not going to bother me. I would rather opt for the drink that has stevia and monk fruit in it than the one that has sucralose and Ace K.
Yeah.
So I'm not concerned about stevia, but I'm not adding it into my coffee or anything. I still prefer good old brown sugar. So yeah, I like the flavor of your dips. You put such a small amount in there that it's not bad stevia taste.
No, I don't think so. It just kind of surprised me. It was like you were talking about the test. It's kind of the same thing that they did with vinpocetine.
Yeah.
They gave it to a bunch of rabbits, but they gave insanely high doses, and they used that study to justify suppressing vinpocetine.
Is cane sugar bad for you? Not necessarily. If you're active enough to utilize the sugar as energy, then it's fine. But of course, it depends on, you're not taking in huge amounts and spiking your insulin too much, right? Just a little bit of cane sugar. Are you active enough to where your metabolism could use or needs the extra carbohydrates to burn? So, I mean, anything can be good or bad for you, depending on the dose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of just good old fashioned brown sugar in my coffee. I like my brown sugar.
Yeah, I'd do that before I ever decided to put was that sucralose packet? What did they used to call it? Splenda.
Yeah, Splenda. Yeah, Geochem looks like Rocket Savvy's in the chat. Cool. Rocket Savvy's got some really good comments today. Appreciate all those. But yeah, liver problems could be associated with a lot of things. Could be bile issues as well. Could have a difficult time digesting the fat with a lack of bile in the body. Could be a diet that's kind of out of balance. A lot of people think liver problems are only caused by alcohol, but it could be caused by a variety of different things, or some kind of toxins or poisons in your life you're not even thinking about. But liver issues will tend to impact a lot of different things, because your liver deals with filtering your blood, processing hormones, creating enzymes, digesting different nutrients. So liver is a crucial organ.
I would. I'm dropping this in the chat. Geochem, I would recommend reading a book called Primal Blueprint by Mark Sisson. He talks quite a bit about dealing with what you're discussing.
Nice. Couple more comments here. Moon Royal. Hey, Jordan, you have tendinitis in your knees and some inflammation in the meniscus. You've been using 3 to 4 drops of 70% DMSO solution on your knees twice a day. Not much improvement. Any suggestions? Oh, man. I mean, a lot of times it boils down to biomechanics, right? These things we do, like whether it's curcumin or DMSO, we're trying to handle the inflammation, but it's not, a lot of times the pain relievers or the inflammation relievers aren't really addressing the root cause. The root cause is a structural issue. So my question would be, have you seen a physical therapist or a exercise scientist or personal trainer, somebody that could help you assess your posture and your movement patterns? Because maybe the tendinitis and the inflammation are caused, or they are being caused by some kind of muscular imbalances and joint and biomechanic issues. So I would say either do some self-research and self-assessment on your hips, your knees, your ankles, see if you have any ankle tightness or hip tightness. Usually problems in our knees are caused by either ankle or hip issues. Our knees are kind of slave joints. So usually the problem in the knees is either up or down the chain, ankle or hip. So I would imagine you probably have some ankle mobility issues or some hip mobility issues that you need to, number one, identify. And then number two, develop a targeted plan to address those imbalances. Certain stretches and certain exercises to deal with hip and ankle issues. And then your knee will improve a lot. In terms of like pain management and inflammation management while you're doing that, yeah, DMSO. You could try some other things too, whether it's curcumin, boswellia. There's a lot of things out there to help combat inflammation.
If you have any
Eat your
local
sardines.
dispensaries, you could get a cannabis cream, like a THC infused cream. I know I had quite a few customers that appreciated those. It's definitely it's not a fix, but
yeah. One thing that helped me greatly with my knee problems, which I think were meniscus related, knee over toes guy. You could search him up on YouTube, knee over toes guy. But doing some of his training, which centered around basically backwards movement. So backwards running, especially backwards sled drags, just reversing the movement. So stepping backwards, getting your toes into the ground first, and then having your knees bent while you walk backwards and basically push off of your heel. So backwards sled drags were freaking amazing at helping my knees to get stronger. And then also identifying my hip issues, which were I had not enough ability to internally rotate my knees. And my external rotation was great, almost too much. I could externally rotate my hips too much. I had to work on the internal rotation of my hips. And that definitely helped my just all my imbalances in my lower body too. So yeah, figure out kind of what's going on with your hips and ankles mainly. And then you'll be able to work on those, and that'll help your knees. Just how bad is Nestle chocolate milk powder for you? Because your boys love it. Whoop. Let's check it out. If it's a Nestle product, I can't imagine it'll be great. Oh God, I used to drink this stuff so much when I was a kid.
My kids love it too, and I've tried bringing home more organic versions.
Are these the ingredients now? They actually use stevia?
Huh?
Artificial flavors and just a bunch of sugar, polydextrose, but it's just chocolate sugar powder. 10 grams of sugar per whatever serving. I don't know. Honestly, I thought it would have more garbage in it than it does. I thought it would have like corn syrup and soy something, but it's just sugar. But is Ovaltine any better? I don't know, man. Probably not. Honestly, Ovaltine looks worse. I'm having a tough time reading that with one eyeball.
Yeah, sugar, cocoa, whey, caramel color.
It's like the same thing.
Soy lecithin.
About
Looks like it
10
has more.
About 10 grams of sugar per serving. It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Corn maltodextrin. Wait, is that? Yeah. Oh, they're both Nestle products. Okay. Ovaltine's made by Nestle too. Yeah, same thing. Just sugar chocolate.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of alternative chocolate milk things out there on the market. You just gotta look. Go to your local like co-op or hippie food store, and they'll have some good alternatives. Cool. All right, guys, we're gonna finish up. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hey, just want to remind you before we go, in just a few weeks, GART in Nashville will be taking place, and you can grab your virtual tickets. I think it's the last day or two here where you can grab your discounted virtual tickets for Nashville GART. April 9th through 12th is the weekend. And yeah, last couple of days here to grab your discounted live stream tickets. Watch it from the comfort of your couch. Okay. That's all for us. We'll see you guys. We will have a MAHA living next week, and we'll be here next Friday for MAHA news.
Yeah. Find out what ASIP decided
You
or put out.
appreciate all y'all being here. Hit the thumbs up button, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much.
As on St. Patrick's Day, a beard without oil is just a chin with ambition. But a beard with soft disclosure beard oil, that's true treasure. Spiced vanilla, naked, smooth as a leprechaun's getaway plan. Soft enough to impress your barber, bold enough to confuse a baby goat. And this boar bristle brush tames your beard like it holds the crown coin. Every bottle is American made, which means when you buy Soft Disclosure, you're supporting 6 American small businesses. That's not luck, that's capitalism with cheekbones. And while you're at it, try our mint green deodorant, because even legends need fresh pits. Soft Disclosure, go for gold. Visit softdisclosure.com and use promo code TINYBRIGHT for 15% off.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Promo code does not apply to bundle discounts.
Thank you so much for joining us, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up on this video. And a special thank you to all of our advertising partners. Please remember to shift your dollars to support those businesses that support Badlands Media.